I think that living in a post-truth world is less about lies and fake news. It's really about, we're living in a culture in which debate is largely framed by emotional issues, which can be disconnected from the actual facts. You know, people have always been cynical about the news, but I think people now understand how important it is to understand what is true and what's not true, because there's so much at stake. And so things that we used to take for granted were credible are no longer credible. And we realize that we have to question things. So when things like our democracy or the election results are called into question, people really understand how important the truth is. And this is really important to brands. It's important that you understand what your credible role is in your customers' lives and that you live up to that. Trust is very important to the bottom line, and trust is built through credibility. I think there's two aspects to this. The first one is our products and services absolutely have to add value. That's table stakes. But it's also important at a corporate or an institutional level that our customers trust us. More and more people are looking towards institutions to impact policy, and we owe that to our customers. And so that's where credibility is so important. We have to help society in places that we're most credible to do that. Some people say that businesses are the last bastion of trust, and it really is up to institutions to put their money where their mouth is, and JP Chase has been doing that for years. 2 years ago, we invested $100 million in Detroit over the course of 5 years. We're 2 years in, and we have been committed to help rebuilding the city. I actually don't think it's either or. I don't think it's value maximizers or it's long term. I think it's both. And so it is really important that we give our customers the most value for all of their products. But it's equally important that we think about the long term and that we develop long-term relationships with our customers. And it's our responsibility to use the insights and everything that we know about customers to build those long-term relationships. So an example of that would be for our Ink credit card. We know that it's our responsibility to help our small business owners make the most potential out of their business. And we know that, obviously, points and value is important to them. But we also know that they want to invest back into their business. And so we've created a product where they can use their points to invest back in their business. I think context is really important. It may be the most important thing. Customers are doing more and more research, and that's a good thing. But the onus is on brands to make sure that the information we give them only appears in trustworthy sites. So with the advent of programmatic, we've gone to great lengths to make sure that our advertising only appears on trustworthy sites. And we also make sure that we don't do things that annoy customers, like pre-roll. First, credibly define what your role is in your customers' lives, and then stick with your brand purpose. The second thing I would say is don't always try to control the conversation. Sometimes the best things about your brands come out when you're not controlling the conversation. And then the third thing I would say is be in it for the long term. Trust is built over time. It's a sum of all of your actions.